Hi and welcome to From Chaos to Cosmos. I'm Christy, your guide and helping you to find your own personal, perfect cosmic order. Today I have for you your Tarotscope reading for Aries season 2026. I want this to feel like grabbing a magazine and flicking to the back to read what your horoscope has in store for you for the month. So get nice and comfy, get your beverage of choice, stick on a face mask or whatever it is that you like to do, relax and just let yourself zone in. My beverage of choice today isn't super interesting. It is literally just a black coffee with some cinnamon in there. The cinnamon in there is because I want to bring a little bit of luck and a little bit of success to launching this channel, but also because I have a cold and that's going to, I feel like, be beneficial for my nasaliness that's going on. So if you're completely new to the mystical world and you're like, what the hell is a tarotscope? Don't worry, I'm going to explain to you. So I have pulled a tarot card for all 12 signs of the zodiac so that you can gain insight and wisdom and a little bit of knowledge on what you can kind of carry with you throughout Aries season. And the video is time-stamped so that you can navigate it in a way that best suits you. So first of all, we're going to talk a little bit about Aries, what the general vibe of Aries is, and that might kind of give you a little bit of insight into what things might be good for you to kind of implement into your life throughout Aries season. A little something to ponder on or meditate on, if you will. Then we have an overall card, which is kind of like a collective card for the group for Aries season. Then after this, we'll go into the individual card for each sign. So like I said, you can use this in a couple of different ways. So first of all, you can go straight to your sun sign. Most people know what their sun sign is, so if you know when your birthday is, you probably know what your sun sign is. You can also go straight to your rising sign, which for tarotscope purposes I find can be a little bit more accurate, just because your rising sign is all about your physical self and how you physically move through the world. So your sun sign is more like your kind of core identity, but what I would also recommend is if you know both, you can do your sun sign and you can do your rising sign and get more of like a powerful reading by blending both of them together. Or if you really want to get into it, you can pull up your birth chart and then go through all 12 houses of your chart, kind of following along with what sign covers each house. And this will allow you to go through all 12 signs and get 12 readings for all 12 different areas of your life. If you want to do this but you're not sure about your birth chart, there are loads of birth chart generators online. I really like astro.com is probably my personal favourite. And if you don't really know what the houses actually represent, what area of your life that each house is talking about, I'll put a little cheat sheet on the screen so that you can screenshot this and refer back to it as you're watching the video. So as the sun enters Aries, the sign of cardinal fire, on March 20th, this marks the first day of spring, the beginning of the astrological new year, and a fresh, clean slate for all. Aries is the initiator, the fiery, passionate, driven firecracker of the zodiac. This makes Aries season the perfect time to let yourself unthaw from the cold, depressing winter, or at least if you're in Glasgow like me, it's been very cold and very depressing, and start moving towards your goals and your desires. I know typically January 1st is kind of seen as like the time where you like bring in New Year's resolutions and you want to like change your life and all that. But for me personally, January is still like mid-winter and I am totally not feeling motivated to do anything really at all. So spring is more like the perfect time for that in my eyes. The world's kind of wakening up again, so I feel like that almost like wakes up your passion and desire again. This is also a fun and playful time, so the sun is coming out more, hopefully. Little flowers are popping their heads up from the soil, baby animals are being born, and Aries themselves, as strong-willed and warrior-like, you know, this is like the archetype of Aries, is the warrior. they are still the baby of the zodiac. So this makes this a really perfect time to get in touch with your inner child and bring in a little bit of playfulness and joy and happiness into your life. And it's reminding yourself that even if you are on this kind of brand new journey and fresh new beginning, you might have shit that you want to get done. You know, it's still okay to have fun along the way. This is the time when Persephone makes her ascent from the underworld, and for the time being she steps out of her role as the queen of Hades and she enters more into this kind of fertility goddess, spring maiden, life bringing kind of side of herself. So it might also be a good time to ask yourself what it is that you are transforming into this Aries season. After all, we all do contain multitudes. Aries rules the face and the scalp, so this might be a good time of year to maybe do like a little ritual where you cut your hair as a way to symbolically release yourself from the past. You could do a hair washing ritual with a little rosemary infusion. So rosemary is not only good for stimulating hair growth, but energetically and spiritually it is very cleansing and protective. And like I said, Aries is the archetype of the warrior. It is ruled by Mars, so I think doing protection workings at this time of year to kind of set yourself up for success as you move through the year, this is like a real perfect time for that as well. You could steam your face like in a bowl with herbs that align with your intention for the year moving forward. Or you could buy or make and enchant products that you're going to be using on your face that kind of, again, align with whatever intention it is that you have moving forward. You could also give yourself a pressure point facial to physically release tension in your face, in your scalp. And as you do this, you could also think about what it is that you energetically want to release from your life. Connect with your solar plexus chakra. So this is an area of personal power, and to me it always really gives off the energy of Aries. You can do this through visualization, so thinking of this swirling ball of sunshine yellow energy right here at your solar plexus. And with every inhale that you take, it brings fresh new energy down and into this energy centre, making it get all the more vibrant and all the more alive. And with every exhale you take, it releases anything that you no longer want to be in this area. So like self-doubt, shame, all of this kind of stuff, anything that you feel like you want to remove from your solar plexus area. And I like to imagine this as like almost like black or grey smoke coming out, and I will do this visualization until the smoke runs clear and I'm kind of breathing in good energy, breathing out good energy. I also love to do breath of fire for the solar plexus chakra. So this pranayama technique is really, really powerful for stimulating this area. It's also really energizing, and to me it gives like that kind of like fiery kind of kick of Mars energy too. And on to our general vibe collective card. So it's really funny, I actually wasn't even going to do a collective card, but as soon as I picked up my tarot deck, this card just literally came like flying out of the deck, like, and it was so clear that it was a message that was like, okay, like I have something to say right now. So for our collective card for Aries season, we have the World, and I can't believe how perfect a card that this is for right now. So the World is the very last card in the major arcana, so it kind of represents the closing off of one chapter, but as one chapter closes, another chapter opens again. And I feel like this is exactly what's happening right now. We've transitioned out of Pisces season. A lot of stuff is actually happening on March 20th as well. So Mercury also stations direct as well. So we're ending Mercury retrograde. So hopefully things are starting to feel like a little bit less chaotic if you're someone who's really impacted by Mercury retrograde. Anyway, with the World coming up and it being this symbol of an ending and a new beginning, this is an opportunity for us to look at the previous cycle that we've just been through, what happened and who have we become since last Aries season. The things that we've learned, the things that we've gained, the things that we've lost. I feel like for lots of people that I know, myself included, last year was a real year of purging and grief and death and forced rebirth and all of that. And most people that I know, 2025 was not their most favourite year ever, to put it lightly. However, I always think that it's important before you go on a new journey to take a little bit of time and reflect on the previous journey. What went well, what didn't go well, what things did we do and we achieve, what did we do to make the best out of whatever situation was handed to us, or what things did we maybe not handle so well and we know that we're going to not be like that again moving forward. What elements of that previous cycle do I want to leave behind and move on from, and what elements of it do I want to embrace and create more of? And as the world is a brand new beginning as well, because with every ending will always come a new beginning, it's also a good time to look at what we actually want to do and achieve in this cycle coming. So where do we want to be and who do we want to be by, Aries season 2027, when you're hopefully sitting here watching Tarotscopes 2027. And there obviously probably is things that you want to achieve and goals that you want to hit and kind of external things that you want to manifest. But Aries is so self-focused, and we are, for better or for worse, the centre of our very own world. So I would invite you to not only think about what it is that you want to achieve, but who it is that you actually want to be. Like, what version of you are you creating this year? So this is a message for my Aries friends, or the Aries area of your chart. If you are an Aries sun watching this, I would like to wish you a very happy birthday. If you would like to comment when your birthday is, I will do a little extra card pull for you in the comments. It's also low-key kind of crazy to me that our collective card was the World, which is the last card of the major arcana, and then moving on to our Aries card, which kicks off the brand new season, and the card is the Fool. It just feels honestly too perfect. So for you, we have the Fool coming up in his reversed position. So the Fool, like I said, is the first card of the major arcana, card number 0, and the card of limitless potential. With this card coming up in the reverse position, I would really invite you to think about your internal sense of self. So instead of putting all your focus on making these big external shifts and changes, maybe think about focusing inward and creating changes that might be seemingly small because they're done quietly and in private and on the inside, but these internal shifts and changes is what is actually going to lead to the big changes on the outside. I'm sensing that this could come from either a mindset shift or some kind of big energetic overhaul, or just focusing on how it is that you're actually feeling day to day, and really focusing on the things that you're radiating from the inside outward. This can be difficult if you are someone who is a little bit more action orientated. So if you're someone that's thinks of a project or a plan or something that you want to do, and before you've even kind of fully formed the thought, you've charged right ahead and you're already doing it. I'm an Aries moon, so I do totally get it. That is how I work quite a lot of the time, and there's definitely a time and a place for that. Sometimes if you get the spark of passion, you just have to go for it. But I do feel that it might be beneficial for you to focus on this kind of internal alignment and inspiration, because what I've often found is if I do something in the external world, but I've not actually updated my internal sense of self or the inner narrative that I've got going on, to be in alignment with how I want that thing to turn out, it's never quite as successful as I would have hoped it would have been. So you can do all these things outwardly, but I kind of believe if you don't focus on your self-identity and you don't really feel like the person who is worthy of those things, or if you're not like an energetic match for those things, it might still come into your life, but it either won't feel as good as you wanted it to feel or you expected it to feel, or it's just not going to feel quite right. So I think the key here for you is to be making sure that you're getting yourself feeling really, really good. Really working on your self-concept and your self-identity so that you can truly kind of embody the version of you that you want to be and embody the version of you that aligns with all your goals and aspirations. And I feel like when you're fully confident, you're fully happy, you're full of self-belief, like you really trust in yourself, like you're feeling really, really amazing, everything else just kind of falls into place. This is a message for my Taurus friends or for the Taurus area of your birth chart. We have the 10 of Pentacles reversed. I'm sensing here that your focus this month for Aries season should really be nurturing and caring for the things in your life that is going to lead to that long-term stability and happiness. I'm feeling that looking after the things in your life right now that you already have is going to lead to this real secure feeling. This might look like looking after the things that's in your life now so that you're creating this really solid foundation so that anything that you want to plan and grow on it has these really secure roots. And it might look like small things like slightly changing your morning routine so that you have a little bit more time for self-care. Changing your spending habits or your relationship to money, even if this is just like small little changes. And obviously, depending on who you are and how your relationship with money is, this is going to look a lot different. It could also mean taking better care of your physical body, taking better care of your home. I'm even feeling like there should be a real focus on nurturing the relationships there in your life as well and kind of tending to and taking care of them. Thinking almost about the different dynamics that you've got going on and how you actually approach these relationships and what your attitude towards these day-to-day like dynamics are. For example, when you are around loved ones, are you fully immersed in that moment and embracing the moments that you have with them and really being there and being present? There's a real sense here of really appreciating what you've already got and kind of letting yourself be fully present with it and like remembering that your day-to-day life is still your life. And I think about this all the time. So most of our life is mundane moments, you know, getting up, going for a shower, taking the dogs out for a walk, picking the kids up for school, going to work, making dinner, putting a washing on, doing the dishes. All of this stuff, that's like most of it. That's most of what our life is made up of. And then the other things, it's like the big scale things like the weddings and the births and the holidays and all of these kind of things. That's actually only one really small fraction of your life. So don't let all of your joy exist only in these moments. You've got to find joy in the mundane day-to-day things, the relationships, the routines. You've got to make these things feel really beautiful and really lovely and really happy because that is what most of your life is. And this is where I feel like you are going to find this long-lasting happiness that is going to set the foundation for the rest of your year. Nurturing the day-to-day, making small shifts that are actually big shifts, and finding joy in these little moments. This is a message for my Gemini friends or the Gemini area of your natal chart. We have the Empress reversed. Right away, I'm thinking that this is a really good time for you to be thinking about your physical health and everything to do with the physical container in which you move through the world in. So this could be like very specific fitness goals that maybe you're working on, or maybe there's some healing that you have to do on your physical body. But it can also be the idea of trying to like physically embody the version of you who you want to become. So if you have like ideas and dreams and goals or whatever about what it is that you want to bring into your life in the coming weeks, months, year or whatever, it's time to take that from your mind and really draw it down into the physical reality. And this embodiment of your goals is really going to be what draws them to you. This is kind of like the idea of you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So the Empress has this real like Venusian energy to her, and while she is really often associated with a lot of like emotional energy, which she definitely is, she is also really associated with like the physical body and physical worldly pleasures as well. And I feel like she's really good for bringing that kind of emotional energy that drives your desires. Like when you bring that and then you bring the physical aspect of your body into it and bring them together, that's really going to be what magnetizes things to you. It's kind of like, you know, the age-old saying of like, dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. It's that kind of vibe I'm getting for you. So maybe you want to bring a little bit of glamour magic into your spiritual practice by kind of letting yourself embody the version of you that you want to be, so that you can let this aspect of yourself kind of shine outward, and that's going to bring more of those things like that to you. An example of this might be like, say you want a very specific job like a chef or something like that. Like you have like a cooking degree and you want a really good job at a really good restaurant or whatever. Thinking about how chef version of you would maybe dress. So maybe that would be always having like clean, short nails, or maybe this example isn't really hitting, and I feel like now I've started with it, I have to go with it. And I don't know if subconsciously, because my cousin is a Gemini and the chef, this is why this example came to my mind, but there probably is a better one I could have used. But we're going with it in case any of my chef friends are listening now and they're like, yeah, let me know how I get this job as a chef through glamour magic. It could also be like thinking about like what this chef version of you, how they would be acting and what they would be doing in their day-to-day. So maybe it's getting themselves a fancy new set of knives, or some really nice chef whites, or like cooking for friends and family because you've got really good recipes that you want to test out anyway, and you're really confident in that what you cook for people is really, really going to hit. Maybe you like befriend like a little rat that can control you and cook food for you from underneath your hat. I don't know, something like that. Another example would be, say for instance, you want to manifest like love into your life. Like you're looking to like attract like a romantic relationship. Maybe you throw out all your old underwear and you only ever wear red, lacy, kind of sexy underwear because that helps you like embody the more sexy, seductive version of yourself. Maybe you, dress in a way that makes you feel like confident and deserving of love. And of course, this is not just like a physical thing, but it's trying to think about how that emotion of being in a relationship would translate into the physical world and what you wear, how you present yourself, and what you do in your day-to-day life. This could also be doing like literal like affirmations in the mirror, looking at yourself and telling yourself the things that maybe like a partner would tell you. It's like, you are beautiful, you are worthy of love, you are whatever it is that you feel like you want more of into your life. This is ways of kind of drawing that in. Basically what I'm saying is, you can draw things into your life by becoming the version of you that is that thing. And this not only like draws things to you, it sends a powerful message to other people, the cosmos, and most importantly, yourself, that you are truly worthy of anything that you desire. This is a message for my Cancer friends or for the Cancer areas of your chart. So we have the 10 of Cups. So there definitely seems to be like a lot of completion and new beginning cards coming up, and as Taylor Swift would say, none of it was accidental. I also, funnily enough, funny story with the 10 of Cups, I actually pulled this card for myself the other day. So I work several different jobs, and during this one particular day at my corporate job, I was having like a really tough time, and I was like, oh, fuck it, did I just quit? Did I actually just quit? So I asked the tarot deck, what will the outcome be if I like quit this job literally right now in the middle of the day? And the 10 of Cups came out, so that was enough for me to send a quick email over and hand my notice in then and there. So if that's not like a testament to how much I actually like trust in the tarot and my own tarot reading abilities, I don't know what is. I'm not suggesting, obviously, that you make extremely huge life decisions based on tarot alone. Of course, big decisions take a whole lot more thought than that, which is why I also flipped a coin as well. So I feel like this month coming for you, Cancer, is all going to be about really embracing emotional fulfillment. Even if you have been having a tough time, and again, this reading is going out to so many different people with different circumstances. Literally anybody in the world could watch this video, so it's hard to get like an actual idea of what specifically is going on for you. But if you have been going through a tough time, I am really sensing that this is going to start easing up for you. And even if the thing itself doesn't start easing up, I'm really feeling that you're going to be finding a lot more ease with it. And I'm sensing like a real kind of celebration and appreciation of your emotions. This depends, of course, on how strongly you relate to the Cancer energy, but Cancers are often kind of told that they're too much, they're too sensitive, they're too emotional, they're too sentimental, they're too much of like a crybaby. This is things that you kind of hear stereotypically about Cancers quite a lot. Also, by the way, I know plenty of Cancers who are by no means like crybabies or anything like that, so it's not always like 100%, you know. But I'm feeling like this might actually be your invitation to really kind of embrace and celebrate those parts of yourself and celebrate the things, people and places that your emotions have brought you or brought you to. Maybe you're a super empathetic person, so it means that your friends and family really lean on and really trust and really feel like they can rely on you. Maybe leading with your heart has brought you such deep, loving, emotionally connected relationships. Or maybe it's brought you like a very fulfilling job because you kind of led with your heart and went there. Maybe your emotions allows you to be like deeply artistic. And it's seeing the things that your emotional world has brought to you, like because you're so emotional, not in spite of it. If you are someone who feels like they're a little bit more shut off from their emotional world, this could be your invitation to try and lean a little bit more into it and kind of let that side of yourself almost like radiate through a little bit. I feel like things are really going to start flowing and shifting into your life when you let this like emotional side of yourself come through. Like maybe you let yourself soften a little bit. I think this is like a true gift that Cancer has. They're able to tap into their own emotions and the emotions of other people in a really profound way. But sometimes with Cancer, they can also like feel things so deeply that they like retreat back into their crab shell and kind of like peace out from the world. I definitely know Cancers on... Actually, I'll be honest, like most Cancers that I know aren't stereotypical what you would think of Cancer, and I think it's because they are very capable of feeling like those deep emotions, and they do, and they really empathize with other people, but they've almost had to like harden a little bit because the emotions were a little bit too intense, that it's almost like a protective mechanism. And I would say, yeah, like most Cancers that I know are not the stereotypical, oh, they cry all the time, they're sentimental all the time, blah blah blah, which definitely can be a Cancer thing as well, but just not in my life. But my advice here for you, Cancer, or in the Cancer areas of your natal chart, is to let yourself be authentic and to let yourself wear your heart on your sleeve a little bit, because the right people are going to find you, love you and embrace you exactly as you are. I'm even feeling like you should kind of come back to your inner child a little bit here, like allowing yourself to kind of go back to the version of you that you were before you were told that you were too much. Or maybe you never actually even got the chance to be that version of yourself. Maybe you were never allowed to feel like who you authentically were was okay to be. Now is the time to be that version of you, who you really are, like your truest, most authentic self. It's time to reclaim your power, and emotion is power, and there is such power in connecting with your authenticity. Doing this is healing for big you, little you, and all the people around you. Let yourself be celebrated by yourself and by others, and this will draw in a life that leads to true emotional fulfillment. This is a message for my Leo friends, or for the Leo areas of your birth chart. So Leo, you have here the Page of Wands reversed. So right away I am sensing the Aries season is not going to be like a big like boom, this is like a new beginning, like fireworks, explosions, all of this. It's definitely going to be the start of something new for you. There is this like new freshness, this brand new energy coming through, but I think it's going to be a little bit more subtle than like, woo, Aries season, let's fucking go. Like I think it's going to be like a bit more like tame than that. I'm sorry to tell you, but I'm feeling like it's a bit more of like a subtle, slow burn type energy that we've got going on. Even for some of you, I'm sensing this could be like a new academic path that you're on. Obviously not all of you, but some of you, I'm definitely feeling that. And I'm definitely sensing the energy of being a beginner again, which, depending on how strong your Leo energy is, could be quite difficult for you to not be the best of the best right away and to kind of put yourself into the beginner position. Like, listen, absolutely no shade, I've got a Leo stellium and I'm a Virgo sun. Do you think for 1 second that I like to not be the best person in the entire room? Like, come on. Anyway, I do feel like there is a journey here for you. Something has sparked and ignited a passion in you, and it's this like passion to pursue that you've got going on, but I feel like it's going to be more of a long-term journey that you're on, almost like it's something that needs to be tended to over time. And I'm thinking less like a burst of flames and more like, how long can you keep this fire ignited? Is it going to be beneficial for you to throw a million logs onto this teeny tiny little fire? Or is that going to actually smother it with good intentions? Apologies, Leo, I realised that my mic wasn't actually turned on there, so if that audio sounded a little bit dodgy for a couple of minutes there, I must apologise. So what I was saying was, maybe it's actually going to be beneficial for you to keep watch of the fire and like add to it gradually, work with the flames, see what it needs more of, work with the elements. And I'm seeing this as a reconnection to like the fire, kind of the idea of fire in general, Obviously, Leo is fixed fire, but what does fire mean to you? Is fire to you always like dramatic, passionate bursts of energy that is all kind of like all consuming and kind of like engulfs the place in flames? Or can fire be something that you take care of and tend to over time? I'm sensing here that whatever is coming up for you, it is exciting and it is passionate, but it is going to need that like looking after so that it doesn't just like burn out. It's going to take like strategic care, and that's where it's going to grow from. And that's how you get from the Page of Wands to the King of Wands. You take that initial spark and that initial passion and you learn how to work with it and control it before it controls you, or before it snuffs out completely. This is a message for my Virgo friends or for the Virgo areas of your birth chart. Specifically, if you are a Virgo sun, I'm sensing that you're probably like the sexiest person in the room at all times. Like unbrushed hair, like not even washed your face, just rolled out of bed, like same clothes that you've been wearing for 3 days. And I feel like you're still just magnetic. You likely have like the best chat out of everyone in your friend group. Like you literally are just like the funniest person in the room at literally all times. Also, it's like scary how you're always right and how you're always just literally so good at absolutely everything. Anyway, enough about me. Your card is the Queen of Swords. Right away, I am sensing transformation and evolution that comes from deciding what kind of internal chatter and internal narrative you let actually be like absorbed into your energy and into your sense of self. It's kind of like taking like the thoughts that you're having and like the beliefs that you have and going with that kind of like critical analysis that Virgo is so good at, and asking yourself, what parts of this is actually even true? What parts of this am I actually going to let affect me? What parts of this is actually beneficial for me to take on board? So of course I am sensing this with like the internal narrative, but this also could be like external noise as well. Other people's opinions in your real life and like things online as well, definitely. And I feel like you need to ask, how much of this shit do I actually have to let bother me? Of course, if it's things that's coming from somebody that you care about and people whose like opinions you respect, or it's about like a cause that you really care about, then yes, you probably do need to like let that bother you like at least a little bit. But whereabouts in your life are you letting the words of people that you literally do not care about actually affect you? Are you letting yourself getting irritated and affected by things that is actually nothing to do with you and you don't need to get irritated or affected by? Again, I don't mean like big world events that isn't like directly impacting you specifically, of course, because I think those kind of things actually do concern all of us and like we should be like impacted by that, of course, while maintaining boundaries for your mental health, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about more like smaller scale stuff that like bogs you down. Maybe there's like somebody online that you just find like really fucking annoying, and for some reason you just keep following them and kind of hate watching them instead of just blocking them or like unfollowing them. It's like somebody who's not like evil, they just bug you, and for some reason you just kind of let yourself sit with that annoyance. Or maybe you have somebody in your life that's really like nagging and critical and they've always got like a really negative opinion about you, but you don't actually care about this person's opinion, but you still let the things that they say really, really bother you. Maybe you are the nagging critical person in your own life and you are always saying some not very nice things to yourself, and you need to kind of think about that in your relationship to why that is. And like if this is the case and you are the critical person in your own life, try and not let your realization of that be like another reason why you then criticize yourself. This is something that we all do to some degree. Like we're all hard on ourselves sometimes. Try and not let that be like a like big criticism of your character if you realise that you are doing this. It's more like noticing these thoughts and patterns, and when you begin to notice them, you can kind of look at it from like the lens of curiosity, where you're like, oh, that's really weird that like I had that thought about myself. Is that a true thought? Is that something that's been told to me by someone else? Where did that opinion actually come from? Is this my belief, or is it just something that I've kind of said to myself over and over and over again? Or is it something that was said to me when I was growing up? Or is it something that an ex has says to me, or something like that? And then from there you can decide if you want to let it go or not. And I'm also kind of getting a message here about like energy cleansing and like letting other people's energy get stuck to you. So people don't often think about like words being an energy that can actually get stuck to you, but it really, really is. So I'm just looking at like the Queen of Swords there, and I'm thinking about her kind of like taking like her sword and going through like her auric field and almost kind of like cutting away other people's energy, like things that she no longer needs. She's kind of physically cutting this energy away. You can do this if you have like a ritual knife or whatever at home. Obviously don't cut your actual physical body, but it's more like around like your auric field. If you don't feel comfortable doing that with a knife, then you could literally like pluck and chuck the energy. This is something that like I also like to do. Like you kind of sense into your body where things feel stuck, and you can literally grab the energy and kind of like throw it away from you. You can also do cleansing like through smoke cleansing or visualization or like aura sprays, or ritual baths, ritual showers. There's loads of different things that you can do. But I feel like this kind of blend of like strategic thinking and energy awareness is what's going to lead to this kind of evolution for you. This is a message for Libra, or for the Libra areas of your birth chart. Libra, your card is the Eight of Swords, and I'm thinking right away, this message is kind of about where in your life have you been willfully blind. So this would be like the things that you either pretend that you don't see, the things that you pretend that you don't know, or the things that you pretend that you don't want. I feel like there are almost kind of like two paths that are available to you right now. So the first path, you're walking along and you've got your blinkers on and you can't see anything in your peripheral vision. On this path, you're kind of ignoring anything that could be seen as uncomfortable. This could be a relationship or a relationship ending, a desire of yours, speaking your mind about something, showing who you authentically are, whatever it is. You're kind of like down this path and you've almost got like tunnel vision on. You're not letting yourself see any of these things that could cause discomfort. And you kind of pretend that you don't want these things, or that you don't even see them, or that you don't even notice them, so that you can just continue walking down this path comfortably. The other path you can walk down and you take the blinkers off, and all of a sudden there is unlimited potential out there for you. This is probably a riskier path to take. It's maybe a little bit unconventional. It's definitely going to be more uncomfortable, and this path would require you to take bold action. It would require you to possibly face the risk of being critiqued by others, or losing some things that were never actually meant to be. It could be quite scary. It would require you to kind of be loud and proud and bold about who you are and where it is that you're going. And it would kind of lead to you unapologetically living your life in the way that you want to live your life. And this is what kind of makes it a really beautiful path to be on. Often in life, we can feel really stuck between what we feel like we should do and what it is that we actually want to do. So because we feel like we should be doing this thing, we just kind of ignore all these things over here that we actually want. Because it's kind of just easier to just pretend that like you don't see a different life for yourself, or you don't have these other desires, or that you are entirely happy down this really like predictable, expected path. But it's kind of like keeping yourself in a trap, but pretending that it's not a trap because it's comfortable. And sometimes if we do this for long enough, our hopes and dreams and everything that we kind of desired and wanted just kind of fades away and nothing ever comes of it, and they just kind of like fade into grey in the background. Or you get to a point when you've been so done pretending to yourself that you just kind of say like fuck it, and you like blow like your whole life up in like a kind of crazy way because you've been like holding on to like so much like resentment and frustration for so long that you maybe didn't even realise that you were holding on to because it was buried so deeply. And this of course doesn't have to be relevant in every single area of your life. Like I've said in a few of these readings, it's quite hard to get like specific for a very general reading like this, so you just kind of have to like maybe right away like you're listening to this and you're like, whoa, I know exactly what you're talking about. Or maybe you're like, oh okay, maybe I need to think about this a little bit more. Maybe it is your entire life that you feel like this with and you feel like you need like a whole entire overhaul. Or maybe it's just one very specific thing in your life. This is kind of for you to absorb what I'm saying and kind of think of that on your own. But I feel like this is your time to free yourself from self-imposed limitations and embrace who it is that you truly are. And if this causes conflict or fallout, then those things were probably meant to fall away from you anyway. If things only stay in your life because you have been denying yourself the entire time, then those things were never actually really meant for you. When you live in genuine alignment and you know yourself and you let yourself explore life freely, then all the right things are going to come into your life because that is always what was meant for you. This is a message for my Scorpio friends or for the Scorpio areas of your natal chart. And for you Scorpio, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles has this real kind of deep, like methodic, strategic vibe to him. Everything is really kind of well laid out and well thought out. I'm sensing for you Scorpio, this cycle is all about, yes, making moves, but making them really strategically and taking your time with them and like allowing yourself to enjoy the process as the journey unfolds. It's not so much about being consumed by the destination here for you. The Knight of Pentacles, while he is moving forward on his journey, he's kind of doing so at a very leisurely pace. I kind of see him as like strolling from town to town. He's like stopping in at all the bars, he's trying all the ales, he's trying all the wine, he's flirting with all the women. He's having like a real good time on his journey. And he's, you know, enjoying each place for as long as it takes to enjoy each place before he then moves on to the next. Sure, it's not his final destination, of course, but it is still part of his journey, so he is going to fully immerse himself in that. So your message here is to keep going towards your vision, kind of have that in your mind as your like compass, like your anchor point. You know where you're going to, but remember to enjoy the pleasures of the present moment along the way. Basically, much like the Knight of Pentacles, you absolutely have time here to enjoy the scenic route. You don't need to like fire through so that you can get to like the good bit, which is the destination, because sometimes the journey is the destination. So take your time and enjoy the ale and enjoy the women along the way. This is a message for my Sagittarius friends or for the Sagittarius areas of your birth chart. We have the Ace of Swords reversed. I feel like now this is the time to take complete ownership of your energy and of your life. It's time to take the natural gifts that you've been gifted, the things that you're kind of naturally really drawn to or naturally really good at, and kind of like claim those things as your own. You know, like with the fake moon landing where they like put like their little flag on the moon, that's what I'm kind of feeling here for you. Except for you, it's not fake. For you, it's not fake. You're like actually marking your territory. And I feel like it's definitely less about, well, yeah, like I'm like, you know, like I'm like kind of good at this thing. Like I guess like this is like kind of like good for me, like I don't know, like maybe I'll do that. And it's all about like deciding that this thing is yours. You are claiming this thing, this is what you're doing, this is where you're going, and you're taking complete ownership of it. It's showing to yourself and to others like, this is what I'm choosing, this is what I'm doing, this is like it for me, like this is what I will be successful at. And it's like a proper mindset shift of having complete and utter confidence in yourself. I'm feeling like there's something that you have, like I don't know why I'm getting the idea like there's like either like a talent or a passion or something that you know that you're really 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 good at, but you've maybe either like never let that side of yourself show, or you've never let yourself have the audacity to have like the confidence in that thing. I feel like now is like your time to like have the confidence of a mediocre white man, as they say. This is your time to like actually lay your claim on this thing and get confident, or at least fake it till you make it. Obviously, again, general reading, I don't know what this actual thing is, so it could be like a physical thing, it could be like a project that you're working on, it could be like your intellectual property or like a talent or something that you've got there. Whatever your thing is, whatever it is that this message is hitting you with, it's a real time for you to let go of all limiting beliefs surrounding this thing. And I am sensing a real kind of time of absolute certainty coming up for you in its place. You drop the limiting beliefs and the certainty kind of rises up to the surface. I feel like you already kind of have the tools and everything that you need there to kind of manifest anything that you want and make this next cycle anything that you want. The only real thing that you actually have to do is to just like decide that it's so, and once you confidently make that decision, everything is going to start unfolding for you. It's almost like you're sending a message to the universe. You're telling the universe, okay, I have decided that this thing is for me, so around my will, start making shifts to make it so. And I feel like it's going to be like a really beautiful time for you once you do that. This is a message for my Capricorn friends, or for the Capricorn areas of your natal chart. I feel like for some of you Capricorn friends, it feels like this new beginning feels a little bit less like a new beginning, like possibly because like behind the scenes you've already been like getting shit done, like you've been like working hard through the winter and the rest of the world is just kind of catching up with you. So this might be like actually like physically working on something, or maybe you've kind of been like mentally or energetically kind of like preparing for something, but I feel like you're already like you've been doing the things, you know. I feel like there's definitely more work to be done for sure, but you maybe feel like you're kind of like already at a place where you can allow yourself to take like a brief moment of pause or rest, if pause or rest is something that a Capricorn would be willing to do. I don't know. But I am sensing for some of you that some work has already went on behind the scenes for something, and this feels like more of a time where it's actually been brought into your physical reality. Even if not entirely manifested yet, it feels like you can a little bit like enjoy the fruits of your labour, so to speak. This could be like the vibe of maybe you've been like working on a project and this month it launches, or you've been like planning, say, a wedding and this is the month that you're getting married, so like everything's kind of done and you get to like enjoy it a little bit. Or again, if it's not like an entirely finalised thing, maybe you have like reached a point where you're like ahead of schedule, or you just kind of are really really certain on the path that you're going down, so you feel like there's less pressure on you at the moment. I'm feeling like a real a release of pressure coming up. I do feel like there's more that you probably want to achieve and more that you want to work on, but with this relief here, I'm sensing that there's like kind of like an effortlessness to the work that you're doing. Like it feels so aligned and so right for you that it just seems to be kind of like effortlessly flowing, and like you can almost like co-create with the universe quite freely. I'm sensing some kind of relinquishing of control, and if this message really isn't like hitting for you, or you are someone who finds it quite difficult to relinquish that control and let go of the reins a little bit, this might be your message to kind of ease up just a little bit. Don't, completely give up on everything in your projects and put like every bit of trust in the universe that everything is just going to fall into place. Like, it is a co-creating universe. There is like, you give a little bit, they give a little bit, but I do believe that when working towards something, you need to kind of leave like a little bit of room for the magic. This is a message for my Aquarius friends, or for the Aquarius areas of your birth chart. Aquarius, I feel like you're probably so ready for a fresh new start and for spring to begin. Maybe for some of you, the winter was really dark, or the winter was really heavy or tough, and you might feel like a bit like mentally and or emotionally fried. And I'm sensing that this time coming for you is almost like a real deep sense of relief. As I kind of said in the beginning, I feel like last year for people there was a lot of upheaval and a lot of like change, and there was a lot of pain and endings and grief and a lot of unexpected things happening in people's lives, mine included. 2026 hands down holds the record for worst year of my entire life. 2026, I just say 2026, oh my god, no! Universe, 2025! Fuck's sake. 2025 was the worst year of my life. Universe, this is not a challenge, okay? But last year was the year of the snake. I'm sure you've heard people talking about this online. Like, I've heard loads of people talking about how it was the year of the snake. So with that comes like a lot of evolution and shedding of the old self and transformation. And unfortunately, nothing really forces you to evolve like the worst heartbreak and the worst pain imaginable. That's just the way that it is. If this is true for you, maybe this new beginning of spring feels like a gentle re-emergence for you, like a little flower coming up from the dirt. Like, it doesn't all happen at once. Sure, like you might walk past one day and the flower's not there, then you walk past the next day and all of a sudden it's like popped its little head up and it seems like everything just happened overnight. But loads of stuff was actually going on beneath the surface there for this little guy to come on up and say hello. I'm feeling like this. There's like a real ask for you to be really, really gentle with yourself here, and don't expect yourself to like bounce right into peak performance right away, unless of course you feel like you are ready to be like at like that peak performance. Then pop off, go ahead, who am I to stop you? However, it might be a really lovely thing that you can offer yourself. However, a really lovely thing that you might offer yourself is the ability to kind of nurture and be gentle with yourself as you begin this astrological new year. Especially if you're starting the year with in a way that you didn't expect, or maybe relationships ended, or there was deep loss or huge change, and when you look back to this time last year, this feels so much different from like where you expected to be, and there can be even when you want to move forward and you're looking forward to moving forward, there can be like a sense of grief and sadness for the things that you've lost along the way. So if this is something that's resonating with you, like, it would be my invitation here to be really gentle with yourself, look after yourself, be kind to yourself. I'm also sensing that you might find a real benefit in trying to like parent yourself and to look after yourself the way that you would like a small child. So you'd obviously let them play and you'd let them have fun and you'd let them be wild and you'd let them be free and you'd probably like encourage all these things, right? But also, if they were like crying or upset, you'd likely give them a hug, you'd make them a like nutritious dinner, you'd let them watch like their favourite like Disney film or whatever. Like, you would balance the both. You would be like, yeah, go be wild, go be free, go and be whoever it is that you need to be and do whatever it is that you need to do. But you would also kind of have that kind of soft, loving, caring, nurturing energy for them as well. And that's what I'm inviting you to have for yourself. But overall, I do really feel like better times do lie ahead of you, and you're kind of like leaving those murky waters and you're going forward into something that seems to be a lot more brighter for you. This is a message for my Pisces friends or for the Pisces areas of your birth chart. So Pisces, what we have for you here is the 9 of Swords reversed. Right away I am sensing that there has been some kind of mental anguish here for you. Much like I just said about Aquarius, and I mentioned briefly in the beginning of the video as well. This year might have been quite heavy for you. For a lot of people it was really heavy. It might have been really tough. You might have had certain like belief systems stripped away, and I feel like with some of these things that happened, even though it was in the past, even if like the very recent past, the memory of that has continued to kind of linger on and hurt you in the form of like living in your brain, you know. It's kind of, the pain continues because it continues to live on in your head. It's also interesting to me that with Pisces being the very last sign that closes out the year, and on this card, if you look closely at the woman's blanket, it shows all of the astrological signs and all of the planets. So that kind of shows to me that the weight of the previous cycle has been weighing heavily on you, like the weighted blanket nobody fucking asked for. But having this card come up in the reversed position, this shows to me that it is time to like let that weighted blanket fall off of you. It's time to release and it's time to let go. Of course, you can take with you all of the lessons that you learned through all these things that have been weighing heavy on you, but it's time to not really let it weigh you down anymore. It's like, take what you need to take to move forward, but it can't consume you forever. If you like to view things from a spiritual lens, which if you're watching a tarot reading video and you're a Pisces, I'm probably guessing that to some degree you probably do. Maybe you like to kind of think of what karmic lessons you learned or what soul growth was like unwillingly thrust upon you in the past year, and really kind of use that to help drive you forward. Go, okay, maybe this stuff here was a little bit of like a shit show, but I'm going to like use it to really power me forward towards this thing. So right, obviously, like, you're Pisces, right? You've swam in these waters long enough. You've absorbed all you can absorb. You've let it take up so much of your time and energy, likely, that at one point it has to come to a point where you can no longer get any more knowledge from this thing. So it's time to kind of move on. You've absorbed all you can from it. It's time to move on to the next thing. Leave the thing in the past, but take the lessons of it with you into the future. But there does need to be an active choice here to let go. And that is it for our tarot scopes for Aries season 2026. I do hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you would like to get a one-to-one tarot reading with me, wherever you are in the world, I am available over Zoom. So you can do so by emailing the email address on the screen here. I will also put it in the description box below. Send me over a message and we can chat a little bit about availability and all that good stuff. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment any kind of wisdom that you got from any of the readings, and I hope that you have an incredibly beautiful Aries season. Bye.